Hi everyone, in this video you're going to see this beautiful ceramic bowl made in Portugal by RCCL. You're also going to see this vintage General Electric cassette player. And this is going to be a two-part video. In the first part I go trash picking in the neighborhood, and in the second part I finally get to a Goodwill after them all being closed around here for 6 weeks. So sit back and enjoy, it's going to be a good one. Good morning, everyone. You know, lately in my videos, I've been doing a lot of trash picking in my neighborhood. And that's all because this coronavirus has all the stores shut. There's no more Goodwills open, Salvation Armies, thrift stores. But today at 11 o'clock, they're going to open up one Goodwill. So I'm going to be the first one there and hopefully the first one online. So that should be exciting. So I wouldn't go anywhere if I were you guys. So let's get started. There was a few hours before the Goodwill opened, so I figured I'd take full advantage of it and do some trash picking in the neighborhood. They said it was going to rain, but look at that sky, there's not a cloud in it. So it was definitely a good morning to do some treasure hunting. So let the journey begin. I was about 15 minutes into my journey when I saw this blue bin with something sticking out of it. Well, it caught my eye, so I pulled over to see if I could figure out what it was. As I got closer, I realized I knew exactly what this was. This is called a sound bar. Now, sound bars go for between $100 and $200 and maybe even a little more. So I definitely wanted this, so I put it in the car and it was going home with me. Well, it just started to rain out there, so I think I'll go over the item I just found. This item is called a sound bar. You hook these up to any audio device that you have and it enhances the sound. And they work really well because I've heard them before. This particular one is made by a company called Vizio, which is a pretty decent name. New, they go for between $100 and $200, maybe even a little bit more. This one does have a problem though. It doesn't come with the remote, and every one I've ever seen has a remote. But it does have a bonus too because I do have the power supply. So what I'm going to do is list this on Facebook Marketplace for between $40 and $50 and see what I get for it. Okay, let's continue on our journey. Let's go. I drove down a few other blocks, but there wasn't a lot to see. And then off in the distance, I saw this machine. It was in the garbage. I didn't know exactly what it was, but I wanted a closer look, so I got out of the car to check it out. It turned out it was a pressure washer by Greenworks. I didn't know exactly how much pressure washers went for, but I definitely wanted to take it home and investigate it a little more. Well, the rest of the day I didn't find anything exciting, so I just decided to head on home. A quick update on those two items. I sold the pressure washer for $40 on Facebook Marketplace, and I also sold the sound bar for $35. So I ended up making $75 off the two items that I found today. So it wasn't bad for a day out doing a little trash picking. Now off to Goodwill. Well, here I am at the first Goodwill in 6 weeks. It's about time they opened. I was so excited to get back in. I just went and grabbed the cart, started heading for the door, and all I could think was, boy, it's good to be back. The first aisle I came to was their electronics aisle. I saw these two Keurig coffee makers, but they were in such bad condition, I just passed on them. The next thing I came across was this General Electric Walkman. It's a cassette Walkman. It was only $1.98, and believe it or not, these still sell. Then they go for about $15, so I took it. I continued down the electronics aisle. I saw these printers, but they really are a dime a dozen at Goodwill, so I passed on it. There was a couple of DVD players, there was even this VHS player. It was just a lot of old electronics that I wasn't interested in. On the shelf below, though, I did see this car mirror. This mirror is special. It has a video recorder attached to it. Even though it was $9.99, they go for $40, so I kept it. I walked over to the glassware aisle because I was interested in seeing what new mugs they had put out. One of the first mugs I noticed was this green mug. It was a Disney mug. It was Tinkerbell. It was $1.18. They go for about $12, so I put that in the cart. I went back and there was another Tinkerbell mug, same price, $1.18. So I also took that. And then I went back to the mug aisle and I noticed there was one more Disney mug. It was It's a Small World mug. It was also $1.18. So now I own 3 mugs. Walked on over to this end cap because these things look pretty cool to me. First thing I saw was this Tyrannosaurus Rex. Then I saw the tiger. And I think this was a Stegosaurus. You hang these things on the wall. But they were asking $40 for them, and they were only made of plastic. So I just continued on. That was too much for me. I walked on over to this aisle, and they had a ton of toys, but they were all those new cheap toys. Couldn't make any money on them. So I just passed on them. Then I saw this Star Trek, this Jean-Luc Picard figure. It was by Playmates. It was only $1.98. When I looked them up, they were only going for like $6 or $7, so I had to pass on it. There was nothing else on this aisle that I liked, so I moved on. This next aisle I came across, it was like an aisle where they just throw all their cheap junk, actually. This was a travel case. It was really poorly made, so I just left that there. There was just more of the really cheap little trinket items. And then I saw this Crash Safe. It's a 6-in-1 car safety device. I looked them up. They're going for $15, and this was only $1.18, so I put that in the cart. Wow, it was a lot of fun thrifting again. But it was time to leave, because I think if I stayed any longer, they would have kicked me out anyway. So I took my stuff and I headed up to the cashier. I want to go over 2 of the items that I got in that store. The first one is this rear view mirror. But it's not just a rear view mirror. It also has a video camera attached. And the cool thing about this mirror is, first of all, it can fit on any existing mirror, so you don't have to replace and do any work. But also right here, whatever the camera is pointed at, you can see it right in the car mirror. It's pretty cool. It even has night vision. So I really like this. Even though I paid $9.98 for it, they go for over $30. So I think I'll do pretty well on it. The next item I got was Crash Safe. It's a 6-in-1 car safety device. It's a car charger. It's a flashing emergency light. You can break your window with it in case you're stuck in the car. It's also a seatbelt cutter. It has a few more functions. It's pretty cool. I paid $1.98 for it. They go for about $15, so I think I'll do okay with that too. Okay, well, let's continue on our journey. Quick update on the rear view mirror video cam. It sold for $19.95 plus $9.95 shipping. I didn't get as much as I thought I was for it, but I still doubled my money, and it sold in one night. Okay, let's get back to the video. Well, it's day 2, and we're back at the same Goodwill. Let's hope, since they had 6 weeks to accumulate stuff, that there's still a lot of treasures to find. So follow me inside, because there's no treasures out here. The first aisle I came upon at this store was their glassware aisle. I like their glassware. You could usually find some good stuff. I saw this cup. It was nice looking, but I ended up passing on it. The next thing I came across were these Precious Moments. They were only $2.98, which used to be a good price for them, but they're just not selling anymore, so I had to pass on it. Underneath was this RCCL bowl. It was only $1.98. RCCL is a good brand, so I took that. First thing I saw on this aisle were these 3 St. Patty's Day leprechauns. They were $1.98 each. For $6, it wasn't a bad price, but it wasn't even close to St. Patty's Day. This I just thought was ugly, so I just put it back. Then I saw this Lenox bowl. It was $3.98. A little bit high, but I wanted to keep it anyway, so I put it in here hoping to scratch the other bowl. I came over to this aisle, but I wasn't seeing all that much. I was gonna leave it because it was just their cheap stuff. And then I saw this group of ties. They're those bolo ties, those western ties. There was a whole handful of them. They were only $2.98, so I knew that was a good buy. And I figured since they were made of metal, maybe I could scratch this bowl too. I walked on over to the electronics aisle, figuring there was less stuff for me to scratch here. First thing I saw that I was interested in were these two calculators. Now sometimes I sell them, but I looked these up and they weren't going for that much, so I passed. The next thing I saw was this Canon desktop scanner. It was going for $14.98, which was kind of high, but I looked it up and it was going for $40 on eBay, so I took it and put it in the cart. I was starting to walk up to the cashier when I spotted this shirt that I liked. I walked over to it. It was only $2.98. Now I had to make sure it was my size, and it was. It's a size large. So I decided to take it, and I headed up to the cashier. Well, that's about all for today. So if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to click the subscribe button, and maybe I'll scratch some stuff next week too. Stay safe out there, guys.